All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're here for a decisive evaluation of a major green energy investment opportunity. We're talking about the feasibility report and investment case for what's known as Project Europe. In a world that's sprinting towards decarbonization and energy independence, this project isn't just timely, it's a strategic play right into the heart of Europe's emerging green hydrogen economy. So, let's dive in.
First off, I want to give a quick nod to the partners who put together this incredibly detailed report, Clean Green Energy Mission, and our Rajan Energy Systems. Their exhaustive work is really the foundation for everything we're about to review.
I want to start with just one number, 3.52. What is that? That's the projected payback period in years for our equity investment. It's the headline figure that tells you right away this isn't just an environmental project. No, this is a seriously attractive financial proposition. So, how do we get to a number like that? Well, we've got a very clear roadmap. We'll start by looking at the opportunity itself. Then we'll walk through the technical blueprint, break down the investment, dig into the project economics, and then wrap up with the total impact and our final recommendation. Okay, so let's start with the big picture, the opportunity. We are looking at a strategic green hydrogen venture, and it's located in Portugal. Now, this location wasn't picked out of a hat. Portugal has some of the best solar and wind resources in all of Europe, which makes it, right now, the ideal place to produce green energy cost-effectively. And just to make sure we're all on the same page, when we say green hydrogen, what are we talking about? We're talking about hydrogen that's made by splitting water, that's electrolysis, using power that comes 100% from renewable sources. The bottom line? A clean fuel with zero carbon emissions. That is the product at the very core of this entire venture. So here's the project in a nutshell. Project Europe is a commercial-scale green hydrogen plant in Fátima, Portugal. Now, this is absolutely critical. It's going to be powered 100% by its own solar and wind farms. This guarantees its green credentials. And over its 20-year lifespan, we're projecting it'll pump out about 2,850 metric tons of green hydrogen every single year. Which, of course, brings us to the hardware. Let's take a look at the technical and operational blueprint. You know, the actual assets that are going to make this whole thing work. Now, what's really impressive here is the sheer scale and the synergy of these assets. We're talking a powerful 64-megawatt wind farm using proven Vestas turbines. That's paired with a nearly 28-megawatt solar farm. All of that feeds a 20-megawatt electrolyzer, and it's all balanced by a huge 118-megawatt-hour battery system. This is not a pilot project, folks. This is a full-scale, industrial-grade facility. Let's just zoom in on the wind component for a second. This power curve here, it basically shows us how efficient these 32 Vestas turbines are. They've been specifically chosen and optimized for the wind conditions right at the site. This forms the absolute backbone of our energy supply, and it's a massive de-risking factor for the whole project.
And this is where the design is just elegant. The sun peaks during the day, the wind might peak at night or in the morning. The battery system soaks up all the extra power and then fills in any gaps. What you get is a smooth, consistent, reliable stream of power going to the electrolyzer that maximizes its uptime in hydrogen production. It's a completely self-contained, highly efficient ecosystem.
Okay, let's talk about the money. Section 3 gives us a completely transparent look at the capital we need to put in, the CapEx. The total all-in cost to build this project is 135.4 million euros. That number includes everything, all the assets, the land, construction, and all the contingencies.
So, where does that money actually go? This breakdown is crucial. Look at this. Almost half, 47%, goes directly into the wind plant, our main power source. Another 30% is split between the batteries and the solar panels. This means the vast majority of our investment is going into tangible, power-generating assets you can touch and see, not just abstract costs.
And that investment leads us right to the heart of the matter, the financial case. Let's look at the economics and the kind of returns we're projecting.
Now, this slide, this really shows the power of smart financial structuring. On its own, at the project level, it generates a solid IRR of about 11%, with a 9-year payback. That's good. But for us, the equity investors, the returns are massively amplified. We are looking at a projected equity IRR of over 28%. And remember that payback period? It drops to just 3.5 years. This is the key financial takeaway.
So, how do we get that kind of amplification? Well, it's a few key drivers working together.
First, we leverage the investment with a 70% term loan at a great rate. Second, we're getting a 5% capital subsidy and a 5-year tax holiday. And third, we've got 2 different ways to make money. The main one is selling the green hydrogen at a conservative price, and the other is selling any extra green electricity we produce back to the grid.
Finally, let's look beyond the balance sheet. Because, the real value of this project isn't just the IRR. It's in its strategic and its environmental impact. I've got one last number for you, 43,572. That is the number of metric tons of CO2 emissions this one project will prevent from entering the atmosphere every single year. Now, to put a number that big into perspective, what does that really mean? Well, it's the same as taking over 10,000 gasoline-powered cars off the road, forever. It's like planting a forest with over 700,000 trees. This is a real, measurable, and massive positive impact on the environment, year after year.
So the crucial point is this. This project is not just a financial instrument. It is a strategic asset. It delivers fantastic financial returns, while at the same time, it firmly establishes us as a serious, forward-thinking leader in the global shift to clean energy.
So it all comes down to this final question. We have a strategic asset that perfectly aligns with our long-term vision. We have a projected equity IRR of over 28%, and we have a payback period of just 3.5 years. The data is clear. The opportunity is compelling. The only question left is, what is our decision?